And earlier this year, I approved the updated acquisition plan of the Armed Forces of the Philippines called Re-Horizon 3. We shall never surrender even a square inch of our territory and our maritime jurisdiction.
Mga idol at kabayan, kinumpirma ng Pangulong Marcos Jr. ang pagpirma ng Re-Horizon 3 Revised Armed Forces of the Philippines Modernization Program. Ito ay ang pinakabagong listahan ng mga bibilhing mga kagamitang pangdepensa ng Pilipinas tulad ng fighter jets, mga karagdagang missile defense system, radars, mga barkong pandigma at submarine. Matapang na sinabi ni Pangulong Marcos Jr. na kapag kinwestiyon at binaliwala ang mga karapatan natin sa West Philippine Sea, itutulak natin ang China.
And to push back when our sworn principles, such as our sovereignty, our sovereign rights, and our jurisdiction in the West Philippine Sea are questioned or ignored.
Dagdag pa ng Pangulo ng Bansa bilang Commander-in-Chief, responsibilidad dito na ipaglaban at depensahan ang Pilipinas.
So, what we will do whatever it takes to maintain that situation wherein it is very, very clear that the territorial integrity of the Philippines cannot be threatened. And if threats are made, then we must defend against those threats.
Sundalo ng Amerika ay kinumpara ang Asia sa Europa. China ay parang Russia. Taiwan naman ay ang Ukraine. Ang Japan ay parang Poland. At ang Pilipinas naman ay parang Romania. Sa pagtaas ng tensyon sa East China Sea hanggang sa South China Sea maging sa West Philippine Sea dahil sa kagagawan ng isang diktador na bansa ang China, nakikita ng mga eksperto na malaki ang maitutulong ng Amerika upang mapanatili ang pagiging demokratiko at kalayaan ng mga kaalyadong bansa at partners nito tulad ng South Korea, Japan, Pilipinas maging ng Taiwan. Sa mga nagsasabi na kapag sinalungat natin ang China, magiging Ukraine ang Pilipinas, nagkakamali kayo dahil ayon mismo sa US Army. Kung ikukumpara ang Asia sa Europa, ang Japan ay parang Poland, ang Pilipinas naman ay parang Romania, ang China ay parang Russia, at ang Taiwan naman ay parang Ukraine.
We are the stand-in force for the US Army on the knife edge of freedom. And across that first island chain of freedom-loving allies and partners between South Korea, Japan, the Philippines, and Taiwan itself, is three authoritarian regimes. The Japanese, who I work with each day, consider Japan is like Poland. The Philippines is like Romania. China is like Russia. Taiwan is Ukraine.
Isang paglalalarawan ng sundalo ng Amerika sa posibleng namumuong banta sa Indo-Pacific region. Dahil sa mga banta laban sa ating bansa, kinumpirma ni Pangulong Marcos Jr. na inaprubahan niya ang Re-Horizon 3 ng Armed Forces of the Philippines Modernization Program, isang hakbang at estratehiya ng Commander-in-Chief upang mapalakas ang maritime at external defense ng bansa. Kabilang sa Re-Horizon 3 ng Revised Armed Forces of the Philippines Modernization Program ang pagbili ng Pilipinas ng mga fighter jets, mga karagdagang missile defense systems, radars, mga barkong pandigma at maging submarine.
A conducive environment where tensions are effectively managed is crucial to the success of the COC negotiations. We shall never surrender even a square inch of our territory and our maritime jurisdiction. In this regard, we are upgrading the capabilities of our Coast Guard, pursuing the modernization of our armed forces, and earlier this year, I approved the updated acquisition plan of the Armed Forces of the Philippines called Re-Horizon 3, in line with our comprehensive archipelagic defense concept. Our forces must be able to guarantee, to the fullest extent possible, Filipino nationals, Philippine corporations, and those authorized by the Philippine government, unimpeded and peaceful exploration and exploitation of all natural resources in areas where we have jurisdiction, including and especially our exclusive economic zone, in accordance with international law.
Ang video na ito ay hatid sa inyo ng 1xBet, isang legit betting site sa mundo. Para mag-register, pumunta lang kayo sa 1xBet website at tingnan ng 1x Games. Under the 1x Games, marami kayong pwedeng pagpipilian. Good news! Dahil tuloy-tuloy ang pagbibigay ng hanggang 7,800 na bonus sa una nyong deposit gamit ang promo code na inyong nakikita sa screen. Ring makita ang promo code at link sa description at comment section ng video na ito para makuha ang inyong bonus. Matapos mag-register, pwede kayong mag-deposit gamit ang iba't ibang payment method. Ganon din sa pag-withdraw ng inyong pera. Iginiit ng Pangulo na handa ang Pilipinas na makipagsundo sa China kung ito ay naka-align sa interes ng Pilipinas. Matapang din ang mga binitawang salita ni Pangulong Marcos Jr. laban sa China. Itutulak ng Pilipinas ang China palayo kapag kinwestiyon at binaliwala ang mga karapatan ng Pilipinas, partikular na sa soberanya, mga karapatan sa soberanya at mga jurisdiksyon sa West Philippine Sea.
It is unfortunate that despite the clarity provided by international law, provocative, unilateral, and illegal actions continue to infringe upon our sovereignty, our sovereign rights, our jurisdictions. This pattern of aggression obstructs our path towards ASEAN's vision of the South China Sea as a sea of peace, stability, and of prosperity. Our independent foreign policy compels us to cooperate with them on matters where our interests align, to respectfully disagree on areas where our views differ, and to push back when our sworn principles, such as our sovereignty, our sovereign rights, and our jurisdiction in the West Philippine Sea, are questioned or ignored. But we caution against overemphasizing this reality. Such undue emphasis tends to subsume the legitimate rights and interests of countries like the Philippines, Australia, and other ASEAN member states into the interests of the so-called major countries, as if we are mere pawns with no strategic agency.
Mas napahanga ang mga banyaga sa Pangulo ng Bansa nang sinabi dito na handa siyang depensahan ang Pilipinas. Ito ay kanyang responsibilidad bilang isang leader na protektahan ang mga teritoryo ng Pilipinas laban sa anumang dayuhang bansa.
In your speech today, you said, you talked about actions in your part of the world that were provocative, unilateral, and unlawful. And you said, we shall never surrender even 1 square inch of our territory and maritime jurisdiction. And last week in your speech to the Parliament, you sounded that theme too. You said, as in 1942, the Philippines now finds itself on the front line. And you said, the challenges that we face may be formidable, but equally formidable is our resolve. We will not yield. Now, these are powerful words. And the world has noticed how you have been more assertive than your predecessor in countering Chinese actions to block your fishermen from accessing their fishing grounds, to intimidate Filipino maritime forces. Why is this so important to you? Why have you taken this stance?
Well, it is, I took an oath, and then in that oath, the oath is to support and defend the Constitution of the Republic of the Philippines. And the first article of our Constitution is the definition of our territory, maritime and otherwise. So what we will do whatever it takes to maintain that situation, wherein it is very, very clear that the territorial integrity of the Philippines cannot be threatened. And if threats are made, then we must defend against those threats.
Laban Pinas.